Hey YouTube, in this video I want to talk about my aspiration to start project 1 billion. A few months ago I started project 1 million and that project is humming along nicely. I expect to achieve that 1 million in 10 years or less, but now I have set my sights higher. I am aiming for project 1 billion. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I plan to achieve that and what it means. So, a few months ago, I told you about how I started on etoro, and I also became a popular investor on etoro, meaning I enrolled in their popular investor program. So that really opened the door to becoming what is essentially a fund manager on eToro. You set up your portfolio on eToro, and then there are people who can copy that portfolio. As you gain more copiers and you manage more money from these copiers, your AUM or assets under management will increase. Over time, I plan to grow that AUM exponentially. I'm going to take a look at some of the existing fund managers on eToro and how much they are making. So I think becoming a popular investor on eToro will help me hit the big time. I'm already investing my own money and I enjoy investing. So there is no harm in already doing what you will be doing anyway and letting others benefit from that as well. So eToro provides an example here. If you earn a 2% annual fee and if 1,000 people copy you with a total 10 million, you can earn an additional $200,000 a year. That is a lot of money. Let's look at more details of their popular investor program. So this is really the ladder of becoming a popular investor. So there are certain rungs to that ladder, and so these are the different levels. So I'm currently at the cadet level. So to become a cadet popular investor, basically you just need to have a minimum average equity in your own account of about $500. You also need to have an AUM of about 200, and you need to have a minimum of 1 copier, which I have. I'm aiming for the rising star level as the next goal, and with that I'll get a $500 payment from eToro if I manage to hit that goal. So what do I need to do to hit that goal? Well, I need to have $1,000 in my own portfolio, which I do already. I need to have 10 copiers. Currently I have about 4 or 5 copiers. I need to have about 40k in AUM. I don't know how much AUM I have right now, but I don't think it's anywhere close to 40k at the moment. But I think over time it will probably increase quite a lot. And once you become a champion, you earn about 1k from eToro. To do that, you need to have 5,000 in your portfolio, and you need to have 10 copiers who are following you with at least 150k of AUM. My YouTube portfolio already has 170,000 in it, so 150k shouldn't be that difficult. And the elite is really when you hit the big time. You get that 1k plus you get 2% annual AUM, and that's where it gets really interesting. So you become an elite when you're managing more than 500k in assets under management. So this is the level I'm aiming for. and this won't come soon. I think it'll probably take a few years to reach here, but I think once I do that, that will really give a boost to my goal of achieving 1 billion. And let me be clear that 1 billion is actually assets under management. That is the goal of this project, 1 billion, to achieve 1 billion in assets under management. Now, I won't be able to achieve 1 billion on eToro alone, because I think they have a limit on how much money can follow any particular popular investor. I think it could be between 5 to 10 million, if I'm not mistaken. But I think eToro will be a very good stepping stone and a learning ground. So, here I will be actually managing money for other people, copiers, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of lessons to learn along the way. But in terms of the stocks I own, or in terms of my strategy, that will not change whether it's currently at the 170,000 that I manage for my own YouTube portfolio, or whether it's 1 billion that I intend to manage. If I had 1 billion today, I could invest it in probably the same way that I'm investing for my project 1 million portfolio. In my project 1 million portfolio, I'm a little more concentrated in the stocks I own. So if I was managing 1 billion, I would probably be a little less concentrated, but I will still be owning the same stocks. So as mentioned, many of the stocks I own for project 1 million are already multi-billion dollar companies, and some will be trillion dollar companies soon. So putting 1 billion in these companies is not really difficult. It could be spread out quite easily among some of these companies. As mentioned, I'm a bit more concentrated for project 1 million. If it was 1 billion, maybe the top three stocks will be around 30 to 40% instead of 50%. Especially when you're managing other people's money, you have to be a little more diversified, even if that means sacrificing a little of your returns. People are more averse to losing money than gaining more returns. So and I respect that, and so I'll probably be a bit more diversified if I was managing 1 billion. So let's take a look at some of the existing popular investors on eToro that have the most number of copiers. I did a separate video on the most copied popular investors on eToro. There have been some changes, it seems, since that video. I recall in that video, I think Olivia Danville had the highest number of copiers. But as you can see, Yeppe Kirkbonde has now become the numero uno in terms of having the highest number of copiers. So let's click on his profile. So his claim to fame is that he has done 30% average annual return since 2013. Let's look at his trends. So he did 45.47% last year. But last year was a very good year. Even the Nasdaq ETF did almost 40%, as I showed in my January 2020 update. So decent result, but not an extraordinary result, I think. And our portfolio did about 30% plus. And I think with a few, with ironing out some of the kinks and getting rid of some mistakes, I would have probably done better than 30%, maybe about 34, 35%. But anyway, 1 year performance is very short term. So what you want to look at really is over the long term. And over the long term, I think as a long term investor in high quality companies, I can have a similar return. So he has about 9,354 copiers, and within the last 7 days, he has gained about 561 copiers. He manages about 5 million plus assets under management. So it could be even 10 million, I don't know, but it's at the minimum is 5 million. So let's take a look at how much he earns. So if we go to this calculator here, which I worked out basically, so if he gets a 2% annual fee, he gets about 5 million times 2% is about 100,000. Plus he gets that 1,000 every month. So he gets at least 124,000 per year just managing his portfolio on eToro. And he could well be doing this for his own portfolio. And you know, this 124,000 is really extra money if other people decide to just copy his portfolio. I remember seeing an interview of him once where he also said that basically he manages the portfolio as if he's managing, you know, his own portfolio, and he is managing his own money in that portfolio as well. So he's not going to change his strategy just because he has a high number of copiers. So he's doing what he would have done anyway. So if Yape Bonde can do it, I think we can do it. So over the next 4 or 5 years, I think after we've built a sufficient track record like he has been on the platform since about 2013. I think over 4 or 5 years, I think if we can match those kind of returns on average, we will attract a large number of copiers as well, and maybe we will even hit 5 million one day. So that is the goal towards the first 5 million and the first 10 million. So that is the road to the first few million in assets under management. But to get to the $1 billion mark, I think I probably have to set up an actual fund, perhaps a public fund that anyone, or maybe retail investors or institutional investors can invest in. So the inspiration for that is Fundsmith. So for regular viewers of the channel, they will know that every month I compare my portfolio performance against Fundsmith. Fundsmith is a fund that I admire because of the values and because of the long-term strategy it has. Terry Smith is a very good investment manager, I think. And so Terry Smith manages about 18.8 billion at the moment. That is a lot of money. There we go, $18.8 billion. So if you saw the January 2020 update, you will know that we beat Fundsmith this year. Fundsmith only did a return of about 25%, whereas we did about 31% plus. But of course, 1 year is a very short time frame, and the goal is really to deliver very good returns over the long term. And that's exactly what Fundsmith has been able to do. Fundsmith started from humble beginnings sometime in November 2010, nearly 9 years ago, and it achieved those roughly 20% returns over those 9 years on average. 9 years ago, Fundsmith was not very big. In fact, it was only managing about 39 million at that time. But fast forward 9 years and Fundsmith has grown incredibly. And that is the goal as well, to start that public fund sometime in the future and to grow to at least 1 billion. So setting up a public fund will not be easy. It requires a lot of money, I believe. So I will probably have to earn enough from my investing and also from my eToro account to be able to do that. So that in general is the roadmap. For the first 4 or 5 years, become a very highly copied popular investor on eToro. Earn that 2% in AUM, grow that AUM on eToro, and with that money that I earn from here and from my investing in general, and of course Project 1 million, then I will probably decide to set up a fund. And with that fund, I will try to emulate FundSmith. And if I can emulate the performance of FundSmith over the next 10 years or the next 15 years, then I can probably grow into the kind of size that FundSmith has. And if I can, then I will have the chance to reach that 1 billion mark in assets under management. So this is a long-term project. It's going to take 10 to maybe 20 years or even 30 years. But I'm getting started, and that's what it's all about. So if you would like to join eToro and you don't already have an account, please use the link in my description panel, and you can get an additional $50 if you use my link. I believe eToro is a good platform to get started, especially if you're looking to copy other good investors. So check out some of the other videos I've done about good long-term investors, and you could copy them, or you could even copy my portfolio. But the important thing is to get started. So thank you for watching and have a great day.